second meeting reflection, Eric Olander. Met with him uh, at a shop that's below his office, and got lunch with him. This is kind of a short one. It was like an hour. Um, that dude's super interesting. He knows a lot, and he's from the U.S. And it was really interesting to hear his takes, and what he believes is, what China's doing, and how it's going on. He actually has a podcast about Chinese influence and investing in Africa, that I'm gonna have to give it a little listen on the plane. But we talked a lot about that, and it was really cool to hear him. I mean, it's interesting. We talked about how the U.S. news media portrays stuff, and he seemed pretty bipartisan about it. I mean, I haven't done enough research myself to know, but we talked about the one road myth that everyone's talking about with China. And why he was talking about, why would China invest in companies that they think are going to default and fail? They actually don't want the ports. It happened at one time in, I think, Sri Lanka, he said, and they didn't even want it. They tried to make the government take it, but the government wouldn't. So it might be cool to look into that more. He also talked about how it's becoming a superpower, and this generation of Chinese that are coming up are being told they can do whatever they want, and they're going to insanely expensive schools and getting great educations, and he doesn't think that we're doing that very well. I think he really expects China to be the next superpower or the biggest superpower really soon. So that was pretty interesting. He talked a little bit how business is done in China, and how they'll kind of give you an offer but not really, and then you leave, and a couple weeks later they call you back. Oh well, we can't do it. We need more money, and you kind of have to agree because you're desperate, and then they'll wait a while and they'll kind of sweat you out until you're desperate enough to kind of agree to crappy terms. He said you really got to know how to do that. Know how to deal with it. So that was pretty cool to hear about. And then he told me about the Hema supermarket that Alibaba owns, and how it's all like automated, and that was pretty cool. Based on his recommendation, I went and checked one out, but I'll talk about that in another vlog. But overall, he was a really cool guy, and he knew a lot, and I'm excited to give his podcast a listen on the flight home.